peace and power. Peace and power. Dig on that. You want freedom pies? You want freedom enchiladas? Come dig on it right here for you. Our free resource to the community. Keep enjoying your resources, my people. And this is love to and from Drop Nation. So we're so proud of this right here, man. We're so proud of this right here. Keep vibing with us. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go right into it, man. We're going right into one of my favorite documents as of recently to swim in and, catch the wave. We have so many more to come. I mean, look at all the great work that we have to dig back through. We're even going to dig into some of this annals of the Cuzco, get a little bit into the connectivity with the Papal, and we're talking about these tribes and this exodus, right? We're just talking about the exodus, all right? So what does that mean to you? To make an exodus, first you have to believe and be convinced that you were in captivity. And Harriet Tubman even told you, she said, man, I freed 1,000 slaves. Could have freed thousands. I freed hundreds of slaves, could have freed thousands more, man. If only they knew that they were slaves. If only you know that you're in a system of captivity, and how do you exodus out of that? Well, we begin with getting the power. We get the knowledge. We get the power. We get the knowledge. We get the power. We got the drop. Dig on it right here. Let's go back into some of this knowledge of the forbidden histories of America. We're gonna, use this to connect this Ark of the Covenant among the Aztec. Go right into chapter 14. We're in page 120 of the actual book itself, 127 of the PDF document. Chapter 14. We're going to go right into it. Hawa, existence. Heya, hiya, Hawa. Heya, hiya, Hawa. Heya, hiya, Hawa. Can you say that? Just try it, man. See how good it feels. My sisters, my brothers. Heya, hiya, Hawa. Heya, hiya, Hawa. How does that feel to you? Does it feel all right? Does it feel like we're just talking a breath? A covenant of existence? Ark of the Covenant among the Aztec. There are many legends and tales from the Native American Indian of what would have undoubtedly placed the Ark of the Covenant among them. Of what would have undoubtedly placed the Ark of the Covenant among them, the Native Americans. You keep hearing about this Ethiopia situation, but you are the Ethiopians. You are the Ethiopians. You're in the Indias, my people. Remember what Ronald Sanders told you in the Lost Tribes of Promised Land in the fine print. That's why I said we got to keep digging on the fine print. Don't just read to read and see, oh, we read this many books. Nah, I'll take as long as it takes to get the babies out. Let's go to the fine print. We're just talking about Prester John, the letter of Prester John. In fact, the Prester John letter may, at least in part, have Jewish roots or Israelite roots, Hebrew roots. We're just talking Ethiopia. We're talking about the 4 rivers of Eden, the Gihon, compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. But which Ethiopia? Even in the Buddhist, document that we got comparing the Israelites and the Buddha and all that, it even, told you there that Ethiopia, there's the Ethiopia of the West and the Ethiopia of the East, of the Orient. that there were two Ethiopias according to that, but let's go. It said this confused geography. Can I get it any bigger for my people? Or is that as big as it gets? All right, it's a fine print, y'all. So oh, there we go. Okay. Thank you. Hawa. Remember, heya, hiya, hawa, heya, hiya, hawa. I think that covers all the frequency, don't it? This confused geography has ancient and honorable roots. The first verse of the Book of Esther describes the realm of the Persian king Azores, whose palace also was at Susa, as extending from India even unto Ethiopia. Right, so you got the triggered globe in your head, and I say India, you got a place, right? You got a place for India. But has India always had a place? You got a place for Ethiopia in your head on that map that they've brainwashed you with. But does Ethiopia have a place, or are we talking about descriptors, things that are just describing a bigger meaning than one place on the map? India, Ethiopia. Where's India? Where's Ethiopia? Is it where they told you it is? When will you stop believing the oppressive lies, manipulated, systematically instilled, the graven images you've always been forced to look at and look at every day on the television? Television. From India even unto Ethiopia, in Greek and Roman authors, there is a similar vagueness. All right? We're just talking about the vagueness about a vast region taken in by terms like India and Ethiopia. My people, keep this fresh on your hearts. Because we're not just reading this stuff so we can intellectualize it. Wisdom has nothing to do with your mind, people. Wisdom has nothing to do with your brain, people. Wisdom is the vibration you feel when you know you're walking straight. Wisdom is the vibration you feel when you know you're walking crooked and you're like, I'm smarter than this. I feel it, man. I feel that I'm better than this. I'm better than this title. I'm better than that title. The title of India or Indian, the title of Ethiopia, none of this stuff is stuff you check off because it's a vagueness. Whatever it systematically means, whatever it systematically is forced to reveal for that temporary systematic purpose of similar vagueness. We're just talking India or Ethiopia. In Greek and Roman authors, there is a similar vagueness about a vast region taken in by terms like India and Ethiopia. What does it mean? Where is it? It's vague. The latter, even in its narrowest sense, so Ethiopia, even in its narrowest sense, comprising a much larger area than present-day Ethiopia. So even in its most narrow sense, this term Ethiopia comprises a much larger area than that present-day area called Ethiopia. Even if you just look at it narrowly, but let's widen the scope. Let's widen our perspective of this Ethiopia, this vast reach and this vagueness. And beginning just south of the first cataract of the Nile and its relationship with the better known Persia, and in apocryphal or secret acts of St. Thomas, the apostle moves easily between Persia and India. He's just doing his thing back and forth from Persia and India. And Persia's just talking about Iran, and Iran was also called Iranistan. And we showed you Iranistan on the Hyborian reality simulation map that was right on top of South America. So it had Iran, a stand connected to South America, and we have India. And if we're just talking America and we're talking India, I know it's small and it's sideways, but here's North America, South America, so-called Africa here. And right here in North America, right where the four corners would be, it says India Superior. India, I-N-D-I-A. And I said, why is India here? Why is this called India Superior? Why is Prester John the Prester John of the three Indias? The Prester John of the three Indias. Why, oh why? There we go. So the apostle moves easily between Persia and India. See, it's in quotation marks because we're not talking that India. Starting roughly with the 5th century apocryphal writer, the Pseudo-Abdias, who described the exploits of the apostle Thomas, Bartholomew, and Matthew in each of the three Indias, my people. So the first thing you have to say when someone talks India to you is which one. And if they try to act like it's one distinct place, you say, how long was it only that place known as India? And where's the other Indias? And why are you speaking in similar vagueness? Where is Ethiopia? Let's keep going. So check it. Matthew in each of the three Indias, Prester John of the three Indias. This latter concept became a standard one. So this was not no person on the side just, being the minority. This became a standard concept in the Middle Ages. One of the three Indias faced Ethiopia, in quotation marks. According to Pseudo-Abdias, the second faced Persia, and the third occupied the ends of the earth. Where would they say they found you at, I wonder? According to them and their perspective of where they're looking, you're over there at the ends of the earth. You're past Atlantis. Atlantis was sunk. That connected Africa to America. And that was east or west to them, depending on which map you're looking on and what perspective you have of east and west. And you are at the ends of the earth. So one faced the so-called India, one faced the so-called Ethiopia, and the other faced the third occupied the ends of the earth. We're just talking about the three Indias. Occupied the ends of the earth between the ocean and the realm of darkness. The ocean and the realm of darkness. Everybody's antenna should be up to know what this author is talking about. The third India occupied the ends of the earth between the ocean and the realm of darkness. The third, which is the ends of the earth, became especially fruitful for the geographical imagination. Oh, the Amazon, cities of gold, the region of untold islands, the cities of gold, Kalelus, in which the plural term Indias, etymologically one and the same as Indies. Those are the Indies? No, those are the Indias. Came to rest for once and for all. There also were less mysterious, more valid definitions of the three Indias among medieval geographers. For most Europeans, even learned ones, the term covered a vast and distant region of dark-skinned people. Just meditate on that. We don't have to go too fast. We can do this all day, all night long. Because we're just talking 1507. We're just talking letters from Prester John. We're just talking a great king of Israel. Now, this is the king of Israel. Prester John is also being called King David, the king of Judah. The king of Judah, Yudah. And man, love to AD before I get too deep. Love to AD. Love to the whole tribe, man. Love to Uno Hire, man. Isaac Ford, man. We always have a moving thread of just great drop and flow. No matter what time it is, somebody's always dropping something. So these brothers keep me well informed and well occupied, man, with just links, man. So I'm just so grateful, to the tribe, man. Jay Stu. I mean, just all that, man. So much drop. I mean, so much drop that, it's never a shortage of drop, man. So love to the family, man. Love to the bros. Now, okay. We done been in this etymology before, and AD, shot this to me, man. I said, I don't think we never looked up Utah in etymology. I mean, not to my, recollection. And he dropped his Utah etymology link, and I pulled it up. I said, all right, AD, here we go. Here we go. And I'm just reading, and it seems fair enough. U.S. territory organized 1850. So it was formalized as a territory in their mind in 1850, even though, of course, it's been a territory before that. But as far as their zoning of it, admitted as a state 1896 for them. All right. But listen, from Spanish Utah. Remember, all they did was take off, switch a couple letters around. That's the letter rule. Remember the letter rule? Switch a couple letters around. Might be a consonant. Switch the T. Now it's Utah. Put the Y back in front. Uh-oh. This is what we dropped before, but I never seen it substantiating in the etymology dictionary. So from Spanish Utah, Y-U-T-A, name of the indigenous Utah Aztecan people. Wait a minute. I said, because all we're doing, and this is all praise the Creator, you already know, because all we're doing is talking about the Ark of the Covenant among the Aztec. I had long supposed that those who make up the Aztec which means people of whiteness. Ha ha ha. Now, if Aztec means people of whiteness, and we know people of whiteness is in English, then if we're thinking in terms of the Nutu or the native language or the Hebrew, what would that be in their language? And what would it be insinuating, this whiteness? As we know, we look up white, we get purity, right? Righteous, people of righteousness. Remember the Dan Standard, American Holocaust, he said all these Aztecs were all wearing white. And these are people of righteousness. It doesn't mean to call them white just because they're calling them white. We go to the definition, the meaning behind it, and it's righteous, right? It's pure, right? So we're talking about these people of purity, and among them is the Ark of the Covenant of the Creator, Hawa. And we're just pulling up in etymologies. Love to AD. Utah, U.S. territory, organized 1850. All right, from Spanish, Utah, Y-U-T-A. Name of the indigenous Utah. We'll put the Y back in front. So we're saying Utah, Yudah, Aztecan people. Yudah, Aztecan. Yudah. Put the Y back. Yudah. I know they created this J, around the 17th century or so. So the J don't even exist. The J is an illusion. You still calling anything Jesus, and that's an illusion, and you're not even trying to get into the reality frequency. All right, then stay in the illusion, because that's your hijack. That's your sorcery. That's your spell. But you put the Yudah Aztecan people of the Great Basin. We're talking about the indigenous Yudah people. Yudah people. Modern English Ute. That's a hijack. Ute. Modern. That's just modern. We're just talking Ute. Yudah. Perhaps from Western Apache Athabaskan. And look at this. Yudah. Yuda. Tribe of Yudah. We're talking tribes, indigenous tribes. And I don't know how much more in your face bone does it have to be. That this territory, which looks a lot smaller now, just like Ethiopia does, right? But this territory is wearing this tribe's name. As we talk about the forbidden histories of America right here. We're talking Jerusalem. We're talking Promised Land right here. We've been talking that. And you see it right in the spelling of a state, Yudah, which occupies the four corners. Oh, not just one state in the four corners. It's not just 1/4 of the four corners. Yudah, high, in reference to living in the mountains or the trees. Yudah. Utah is Yudah, tribe of Judah. Of course, I say Judah just because that's what you know it as. That's going to trigger you. But it's no J. It's Yudah. The tribe of Yudah. Of the nation of Israel. Yasharah. Now, where's this tribe? I mean, where's this territory that I was just pulling up, man? Yeah, so this is the map of the United States and territories, possessions, and aggressions. Possessions and aggressions of the slave power. Wow. So AD sent this along with some more drop, man. So, so much. Wish I could share it all. But love to AD, man. Let's click on it. Okay. So it looks fair enough, right? But this is from when? 1856 or so, it said? Yeah, 1856. All right. Now, since the Black District exhibits the dominion of slavery in the states, the dark, its threatened conquest of the territories. All right, the threatened conquest, the white line between Utah and Kansas on the north. All right, let's look at Yudah. And I ask you, where's Arizona? Where's Nevada? And what state is this called India? A state of India. A status called India. Now, if you're looking where I'm looking, Utah is the size of Texas. And New Mexico is basically just Mexico. Someone's just calling it new. And then you have Lower California, right? The Baja, Lower, Upper California, which is all California, right? Lower, Upper. Sounds familiar. And Utah, the tribe of Yudah, connected to California. Now we connect back our Khalifa Sheba, our Prester John, our King David, Yudah, and you see a Sheba Solomon connection again, because They're all David. Solomon is still a David. He's a Dawit. Lebna Dangle Dawit is still a Dawit. So we're talking the David or a Solomon, Kali, Sheba connection in their land territories, and that they possibly controlled, together. Kali was rocking, all throughout the Amazon, queen of the Amazon. So together they had a stronghold. Prester John of the Three Indias. Prester John of the Three Indias. And what state is this called? Indian. So you have a status of Indian, a state of Indian, and an entirely enormous area, which, this is their lines they drew. So what was it before they drew their little lines in before that? All you see is Judah growing, Judah, increasing right before your eyes in terms of a territory. So let's keep digging, man. Yeah, 1856. So love to AD for bringing out this Yudah connection, right in etymology, substantiating everything that we're building. All praise to our wonderful creator, our framer, our shaper, our connection. There is no separation between us. There's no separation between our connection, our framer, our shaper. It's all energy. All energy. And there is no separation between that which is married, that which is together. Our frame and our shaper, when it deals with our mother, our wisdom, our father, our shaper, our vibration. You're in the vibration of that which shapes you. You're shaped in a vibration. That is your law. So our Father's law, our law is our vibration. It's what shapes us. And all of our connectivity, all the weaving of all the ingredients, all that creativity, all that wisdom to know which way to move, how to grow, that's our mother. And we are a connection of all those things. There is no separation. But you put another power before that which has framed and shaped you, and that is your violation. Because you put powers that are below the barrier. They're all below the barrier. You stay above the barrier with your framer and your shaper, you'll be in the goods, guaranteed. But stop being in violation of the law of the vibration, killing and stealing, honoring the father and mother above. We're just talking the Los Lunas, New Mexico stones, the nine commandments. We're talking Yudah, Utah, and the zones of the forbidden history of America. Ame'rican. Copper color races found here in Judah, and Kendrick Lamar told you he's an Israelite. ODB told you he's an Indian. So we have an indigenous Hebrew Israelite, an indigenous Israelite from the tribe of Yudah. Found here, copper color races found here, according to the 1828 Webster Dictionary. And again, why did Columbus bring with him a Hebrew interpreter, Louis Torres, a convert, to speak Hebrew to the Israelite king here? Why did Columbus bring a Hebrew interpreter? If he was visiting the tribe of Yudah. Let's go. Let's go. There are many legends and tales from the Native American Indian of what would have undoubtedly placed the Ark of the Covenant among them, including and primarily the Aztec, whether a replica, representation of it, or knowledge of it. Due to many details found in my research, I had long supposed that those who make up the Aztec, which means people of whiteness or purity or righteousness or law, whom according to their chronicles is of the latter group of families who came from north or northeast, is none other than what Mormons call Nephites. The Aztecs are the Nephites. The Aztecs are the Nephites. And we're just talking Yudah, which is just talking what? Indigenous. Yudah Aztecan people. So this Judah and this Aztec are synonymous, hand in hand. This Judah is synonymous, hand in hand, with these Aztecs, which is where the Anasazi, the enemies of our enemies, remember? The four corners, the migration, Judah, Aztec, let's go. Everybody despised our Joshua. Everyone despised our Meshi. People of whiteness, called the Nephites, in addition to them who became a part of them in AD times, being possibly those of the Romani, not Roman, Indias, Prester John of the three Indias. Remember Romani, Rome is Romani, Roma, Gypsy, huh? Let's go. The Romani colonies. There are those who originally or first came to the land near 4,400 years ago from the Tower of Babel. How's this Babel on the land that was sunk with the, Mu and Atlantis and Lemuria situation? Is this Babel in modern Asia? Is this Babel in Iraq? Near Babylon, what they would call Babylon there? Is this Babel, in the, Devil's Tower tree over here? Was that Wisconsin or something? So, where is this Babel? The former were, in fact, of Hebrew origins. So, again, we're talking, that's how you know we're not talking Roman. All right, so Roma. It's Roma and Romani. These are all things that you were connected to that we've been disconnected from. Gypsy, Roma, Romani. Now you got Romanians, but they're all hijack images. And these are the Romani people of India. All connecting these Hebrews there, Hebrews here. There are those who originally or at first people, indigenous, came to land 4,400 years ago from the Tower of Babel, tribes. Babylonian captivity, the Babylonian Exarch, David, Salsland, David, Prester John, Babylon. The former were in fact of Hebrew origins. It's all in your face. And likely the people of Lehi and or Molech, according to Mormon beliefs. All right, dodge and hijack. Let's just keep going. One of the 7 tribes or families found in the record. It has been long suspected that those originally called the Aztec or people of Aztlan. Aztlan meaning whiteness or people of the Herons. I would have no doubt that long before this they were called Nephites. This people were called Aztec long before they migrated south and after the other families or tribes had left the 7 caves, 7 cities, 7 cities of gold. Thoth, Texas, Sylvanus. Let's go. They changed their name to Mexican. Meshi, Moses, Meshi. Where's that Meshi drop? Yeah, Graham Hancock, man, broke down some Meshi drop that we got a couple times. But, we got it before. Meshi. Meshi. In Aramaic language that the Phoenicians generally spoke. Meshika. The real word for Meshe. Meshi. Moshe means Messiah. In Turkish, a similar word means Meshi, Messiah, Moses, Meshika, Mozaka, the Muscabi, Michigan, Meshiokan, Meshiokan. Meshi is all here. The Mexica language is in Peru, which went extinct about 100 years ago. So all this is recent, that these tribes of Moses, all right, you're following all these tribes of Israel. You're following your ancestors. It's right here. We're following. They're not giving it to us, though. We have to put all this together. When we deal with Utah, we got to undo the brainwash and put the Aztec in there. Of course, they didn't call themselves Aztec. They were called the people of whiteness or purity or righteous people. Righteous people. That's all we're talking about, is the righteous people. You can dodge the hijack past the Aztec and the Utah. I mean, you're righteous people, man. That's what tribe you're from. You're from the tribe of the righteous people. Yudah. High above the firmament, high above the barrier, high, living in the mountains, the trees, high up, people living high up. You were gods amongst men, and you wanted what they wanted. You wanted what they had. You wanted what these angels were showcasing, just to see if you can get away from your whiteness, your purity, your highness, Yudah. Meshi, Meshika, Meshe, Messiah means Messiah. Meshi means Messiah. All right. So we're getting, all this in substantiating drop. So we're saying these people were called Aztec long before they migrated south and after the other families or tribes had left the 7 caves, right? 7 cities. They changed their name to Mexican, Mexica, Mecatan, Meshi, all right? Which means Messiah. They're following their Messiah in honor of their priest who guided them on their migration, whose name was Moses. Later, after acquiring the land of Mexico, they would take the name Tenochtitlan, all right, land, from Tenochtitlan, or prickly pear cactus. All right, that's what they're saying now. Come on, we're doing this together. We're doing this in real time. All right, we're surfing the wave in real time. I love y'all, man. This vibration is real. I feel a great vibration with you. I enjoy sharing the vibration with you. Let me say it that way. I love you. What does that mean? Well, let me tell you what I feel. I feel good to share this vibration with you as I read this and uncover with you in real time. I don't have all this written down for me to get to and connect, but we do it all in real time, and it's been the way we've been rocking from day one, and it's real. It's cutting through the illusion. We all see it. And it feels good to cut through the illusion together. Whatever pace we're on, we're surfing the wave. So they changed the name to Meshi, in honor of their priest and Lord, but priest, all right, priest. Remember, priest. After a 40-year migration, we're just talking migrations. Let's see how we add this up. We're talking migration with the Aztec. Now let's get this other document called the Extensive Semitic Presence documented in pre-Columbian America. All right, so we're just talking priests. After a 40-year migration led by a leader, Kukulkan, the Khans, they finally reached Chichen Itza. Deal reveals the name Kukulkan is an ancient Hebrew derivative of Kukuk el Khan. What does Khan mean? Law-giving high priest. They changed the name to Mexican in honor of their priest, their Khan, their priest who guided them on their migration, whose name was Meshi. in honor of their priest, in honor of their Khan, Kukul El Khan, law-giving high priest. Right quick, man. Let's go to the book Annals of the Coxsackie, man. Pull it up. Pull it up in the library. I said we're gonna get the digging. So here we go. It's right there. Annals of the Coxsackie. I already got it up. Page 79. Let's go. Now this is the quiche. The quiche. The quiche means rooted, or some people say many trees, but that's what their nation is being called, and I think that's a much closer variation of who you are as the people of the tree, the people of the root people, the people who are rooted, the quiche. On page 79, this is from their writing or translation of their writing by Britain translation. All right, so we're getting the babies out. Now this is from them, so this is what they're saying, all right, according to this, Britain translation. There's a couple of different ones I like. I like the Racinos as well. I got a copy of that on my shelf here. All right, so it says, then we arrived at the sea coast. All right, so these are our people. These are our people. These are our people who are following, who changed the name, who came, who are migrating south. All right, they're migrating south. They're migrating south, all right, out of the four corners, all right. They're migrating south into Meshi, into Titlan. Remember the Exodus, Horace Butler said that they passed through the Yucatan and did all that, all right. We're just talking about Meshi, connected to Jerusalem, all right. So they're going south, keeping all this in play. These people are going south. They changed the name to Meshi in honor of their priest who guided them. Meshi, in honor of their priest who guided them. Meshi. And we understand priest, law-giving high priest. Kukulkan, that's all that is. It's a title. It's the title of a law-giving high priest. So in honor of this law-giving high priest. Now who is this law-giving high priest? Meshi, Meshiko. This is all talking about Meshi. How do we know? We go to their cliches, their writings. And here's this right here. So then we arrived at the sea coast. So they're migrating. They reach a sea coast. They reach water. There were gathered together the warriors of all the 7 villages at the sea. Wait, 7. These people were called Aztec long before they migrated south and after the other families or tribes had left the 7 caves. I can't make this up. I'm going through this with you. 7. There were gathered together the warriors of all the 7 villages at the sea. A great number perished, devoured by sorrow. There is no means of passing. They're trying to pass the water. They're following their law-giving high priest, their Meshi. Nor is it told of anyone who has passed the sea. They've never heard of anyone passing this particular sea. Said all the warriors of the 7 villages, 7 cities of gold. Let's go. Who will find means to pass the sea? In thee alone, my brother, in thee alone have we hope. Said they all. We said to them, you may go on, you may be first. Who will find the means of crossing while we are here? All of us spoke thus, and then all of them said, have pity on us, our brothers, since we are all stretched on the shore of the ocean without seeing our hills and our plains. They were not going into new lands. They were looking for our hills and our plains, our land. Our promised land. They're following their law-giving high priest to get our hills, our plains, our land. As soon as we were asleep, we were captured or conquered. We, the 2 oldest sons, we, the chief and guides of the warriors of the 7 villages. Oh, my brother, would that we had passed and could see the burdens given us by our mothers and fathers. Oh, my brothers. So they spoke at that time. The quiche nation Again, Quiche means root or rooted or many trees. Quiche nation had increased. So at that time, the Quiche nation had increased. Our ancestors, Gagavits and Tukau, said, we said to them, we suffer also our brother. We do not live stretched out on the shore of the mountain where we cannot see our mountains, where they are, as you say, O you warriors, you people of the 7 villages, 7 cities, Septimania. We shall pass over at once. Thus we spoke, and soon all of them rejoiced. Now, listen up. Now there was a red tree, our staff. Now there was a red tree, our staff, which we had taken in passing from the gate of Tulan, and therefore we are called the Cachiquel people. So listen, now there was a red tree, our staff. Remember Moses with the staff, all right? Red tree. And now we are called the Cachiquel people. O our sons, said Gagavits and Zektua, the root of this, our staff, was pushed into the sand of the sea. And soon the sea was separated from the sand. Wait. So these Quiche, these indigenous people of the many trees and the people of the roots, Adam, the root of this, our staff, was pushed into the sand of the sea, and soon the sea was separated from the sand. And for this the red tree served, which we brought from Tulan. And for this the red tree or staff served, which we brought from Tulan. Soon the sand was at a line, and we passed out. It became wide above the sea and below the sea. Then all rejoiced when they saw sand in the sea, and many counseled together. So they're rejoicing as they see these waters separate and the sand, up like a line. It says the sand was as a line. It just lined up. Everything parted. The entire sea parted for these people in their manuscripts. Pre-hijack. Pre-invasion. And you say, is this the root of what they're calling Old Testament? They're getting their root from something, and they're remixing it and making it available to everyone everywhere. Where you dig for the roots and you get the babies out and you say, so the root of the mythos is a foundational legend of Moses, of Moshe, Meshi, who's parting the waters with a red tree or staff. There indeed is our hope. We must gather together on these first lands. What first lands do you think? Are we talking about Mexico? They said, here only can we arrange ourselves since leaving Tulan. All right, and here's how the Quiche translation looks. If you speak that Quiche. All right, so then they rushed forward and passed across the sand. And following one another, we came to the shore of the sea, and we arrived at the edge of the water. Then all the seven villages, cities of gold, began to fear. So then they got scared once they got through. Sound familiar? And all the warriors spoke, and then the 7 tribes spoke. Do you not see our burdens? Yet it is not long since we lifted up our faces with you, ye rulers, ye warriors. Did we not come from the sun rising with you, that we might seek our hills? Again, it's our hills, our valleys. Have you not seen the burden, the green feathers, the garlands? So spake the 7 tribes. and commanded and said, "It is well." And the 7 tribes took counsel what to do. Afterwards they went on to the place, however that's pronounced, Diokanvuanku. And then they all went on to another place, Miahau. There many gathered together, having thus arrived at Miahau. Then thence they departed for the place called Valval, Scoop, Kook. Hey man, that's a good one. Kook. Alright. And there they rested. There many gathered together, and departing they arrived at the place called Tapkuk Oleman. Then all gathered there, and we took counsel there, said our fathers and ancestors, Gagavits and Zekdakua. And it was afterwards, or after we had arrived there, that we first unloosed our burdens. All the warriors said, "Whom shall we make to be our head? We, the masters of arms, the master of booty, the assigners of tribute. O thou, our young brother, and thou, our older brother." So said they to us. Then we said to them, "It is but a little while that we looked to make war, and already we are prepared. Our standards are ready, our burdens are loosed. They are the burdens which were given to us by our mothers and fathers. Here are the standards. I am the sage." Thus we spoke when we unloosed our burdens, our loads of maize, the corn, maize, our standards, our paints, bows, shields, and double-headed lances. Thus we showed ourselves before the face of all. First we adorned ourselves with our bows, our shields, and 2-headed lances, our feathers, our paint. We put them all on, and we said to them, "On with you, you are younger brothers, you are elder brothers. Truly this war is certain." All right, so you got Joshua rising up against the Canaanite tribes and the Ammon tribes and Moabite tribes, clearing out giants. We must enter upon it. We must test our bows, our shields. All right, you got the story of the Aztec coming in and, you know what I'm saying, whooping a bunch of ass, and everyone hated them, so they called them the enemies of their enemies. But we're just talking Aztec Utah, right? We're just talking indigenous Utah, Aztecan. And when we say Utah, we're just referring to the tribe of Yudah, when we refer to these Aztecs. So think of that in that framework. So we have Yudah. All right. Then we chose the road, and we told it to them. All of us then gathered together, and soon we met face to face a party of warriors called those of Nina Valkat and those of Xulpit. They were on the border of the oceans. They were there in their boats. All right. So, you know what I'm saying? We got some of this before. I just wanted to get some of this drop to connect. What are we talking about? Soon the sand wave was aligned, and we passed out. It became wide above the sea and below the sea. Then we all rejoiced when they saw the sand and the sea, and many counseled together. Now there was a red tree, our staff, which we had taken in passing from the gate of Toulon. The root of this, our staff, was pushed into the sand of the sea, and soon the sea was separated from the sand. And for this the red tree served. All right. I mean, y'all still with me? I'm just in here, having a good time. So take all that and let's keep going. We're just talking the Ark of the Covenant with these so-called Aztec, these people of purity, these people of Yudah. All 7 tribes, all right? So you just got the 7 from the Annals of Cuzco. Now we're right back in the Forbidden Histories, a separate joint, hard to get. Love to Selma. She gave us so much drop with this one, man. 7 caves, right? It doesn't mean that there's just 7 tribes. It means that these particular tribes that they're calling Aztec were, encompassing 7 tribes. And then I'm sure they had their other brothers somewhere else that were other tribes, you know what I'm saying? And you add those up, some add them up to 13. All right, so let's go. All 7 tribes originally came from Aslan, but for some reason left. And as a result of this untold reason, they found themselves, according to the record, in humiliation. Perhaps they were cast out by others of their kind, or were defeated by an enemy, leaving Babylon, Babylonian captivity, were they leaving captivity? Humiliation, captivity, humiliation, captivity, humiliation. Both are possible, and I would lean towards a curse upon their land, Judah, in which they knew they had brought upon themselves idols, great changes in their land due to earthquakes, diminishing the living waters. Now remember the curse upon the land of Kalalus and how all the waters, all that great water went back into the underground rivers. So are they simply migrating, crossing some type of water bridge that we don't see today? That, the author of Forbidden Histories had a big water source that was around this area, a huge sea of water, you know what I'm saying? So who knows, man? Who knows? But we're just talking Egypt being here, and you know what I'm saying? So which, are we just talking that particular migration? When you put in the water sources, you got to imagine the map much, much, much differently. Even things that sound crazy, like a big ocean of water being here and a big territory of Yudah being here. You got the Mesopotamia, you got Egypt, you got the Grand Canyon. All right. Humiliation. All right. So after leaving Aslan, the tribes together found their way south to the place of Grottos. Wait, let me back up. Back it up. So a curse upon their land, in which they knew they had brought upon themselves great changes in their land. All right, so these Anasazi were migrating because of changes in their land due to earthquakes, diminishing the living waters. The water disappeared, went underground. That fed their land, making it a near paradise. So they were damn near in paradise when the water was there. After leaving Aslan, the tribes together found their way south to the place of Grottos, wherever that is, and it says the 7 caves or underground cities in which were long abandoned by the previous people who were the ancestors of those whom they would eventually join, the Toltec. All connected. It is said in the Aztec record that the entire course of the migration from Aztlan to Mexico was near 400 years, and that those tribes occupied the caves for near 200 to 300 years of the 400. So were they migrating the whole time of the 400 years, or were they, living in one location for a time and, slowly kind of making their way down? The first tribe to leave the caves, migrating south and eventually to Mexico, Messiah, law-giving high priest, Khan, Kulkukan, was the Xochimilca, followed by Calcas, when the Tenanex and Colhuas, and after them the Telehuacas and the Telecalans. The Aztec remained behind for a time. All right, so this Judah remained behind for a time. So were these other tribes northern tribes? And did Judah come, southern tribe, afterwards? You know what I mean? Remaining behind for a time as a result of divine command given by their God. Yudah, Aztecan, Yudah, given by their God, their power. So you match it up. Did the tribe of Judah, based on the divine command in your Old Testament, wait behind? Did the Assyrian captivity and the northern tribes, did they get to do their thing first, but then Judah was still in captivity? Humiliation? These people affirmed that their God had promised them this land. For they are the people he held dear as Yudah. It is clear to me that these people at this point were talking an ancient promise and extending it and isolating it to apply only to them. Well, why would they apply this ancient promise, you know what I'm saying, Only to them. All right, let's go KGV this time. Why would they apply this promise to them, my people? Why would they apply this promise to them? Hear this word, what Yahweh has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only. Why would they apply it only to them? Why would these so-called Aztecs, this Yudah, why would they apply it only to them? Why would these Israelites, Columbus took a Hebrew interpreter to find you, copper color races found here, according to the 1828 Webster Dictionary. Children of Israel, Kendrick Lamar say he's an Israelite. He too was found here and is one of these copper color races found here by these Europeans. Which is why Columbus took a Hebrew interpreter to talk to Kendrick Lamar and his people. In Yudah, in Mexico, in Jerusalem, in Cuba, in the Indias. Hear this word that Yahweh has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of captivity, bondage, Egypt, saying you only, you Israelites only, have I known of all the families of the earth. Is that what they teach you today in Christianity? Is that what they teach you in the temple? In this temple and that temple? Why would these Aztec? Now we're getting out their cliches. They're putting red trees and staff in the water and separating the water and crossing. They're following their law-giving high priest, connected above the barrier, not below it. And above the barrier says that you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. Now this family is getting out of captivity, out of humiliation from being punished. Aren't you still humiliated? Oh, why not? Because you got your house and car? Well, where's your land? Who's over here being idiotic and comfortable with a house and a car when you had a kingdom? If you have no land, you are in humiliation. You might feel like you're doing your own separate thing, but they don't see it that way. They say, look, he doesn't know he's being humiliated. This person doesn't even have a land and someone else is signing a check. All this other hustling just to get this dollars. Look how many dollars he has, but he has no gold. This Negro got no gold, but he's an Israelite. This Negro got no land, but he's an Israelite. This Negro think he's from Africa, but he's an Israelite found here by the European. Yudah, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I'm gonna, all right. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. The Aztec remained behind for a time as a result of a divine command given by their power, Hawa, their existence. Heya, Haya, Hawa. Or what they thought was a god. Oh, really? Their people affirmed that their God had promised them this land, for they are the people he held dearest. It is clear to me that these people at this point were taking an ancient promise and extending it and isolating it to only apply to them. To only apply, only them. Only them. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Oh, y'all must think it's just Amos. I'm just over here just rolling the dice. Huh? Let's go to Joel. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Yudah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. You only have I known. You are my heritage. That's why. Seed. You are a seed. A seed is energy. What energy are you? What's your vibration? What shaped you? What are you formed in? Who is your shaper? Who is your heritage? Where is your land? Where's your inheritance? And will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. So-called black people, so-called Negroes, you've been scattered among all these nations, and parted my land, and parted my land, and parted my land. Dearly departed. My dearly departed people. You are dead until you are alive. And when you are alive, you exist, and that is your status. To go from a dead status to be alive because your creator gives you the energy to be alive, to remember your creator only gives you status and nothing and no one else. To exist. They've parted my land, my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they may drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children of Yudah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and return your recompense upon your own head. So it is written, Selah. Selah. I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Yudah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for Yahweh has spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. He's talking to you. You only have I known Yudah. He's talking to you. Proclaim ye, you, my heritage. You tell them this. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. This ain't no Christian guy talking. This is your tribal heritage, your Yahweh. I am strong. I exist strong. I am strong. What's your status? Strong. Assemble yourselves. Assemble yourselves. And come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together around. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down. Thither cause thy mighty ones to bring everybody. Assemble yourselves and come. Let the heathen come. Let them gather themselves, because what? You've prepared for war. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare for war. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men and let all men of war draw near. Let them come up. This is what you're proclaiming to them, because we know the Creator's assembling them all up. And he's telling, hey, assemble yourselves, all y'all, all the heathen. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for the wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. It's a decision making. Oh, you want your courts? You want your vessels in dry dock? And give us documents when these courts are nothing but ships and vessels in dry dock? From the law of the sea, not the law of the land? Multitudes in the valley of decision. The Most High will show them a court. For the day of Hawa is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. You know, I've been digging a lot on this September 23rd situation in 2017, and going into the Hebrew year, what they say, 5777 or 5778 now coming up. And it's a lot going on, man. We just got to be prepped. But for them, they got to prepare war. That's what they're doing, is preparing war. You're coming out of her. Hawa also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But Hawa will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. So shall ye know that I am Hawa, your God. Heya, Hawa, your power dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain, my tree. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her any more. There shall no strangers pass through her any more. What does it mean to you? Whoever you are, what does it mean to you? And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Yudah, all the rivers of Yudah shall flow with water, and a fountain shall come forth out of the house of Hawa, and shall water the valley of Shittim. In Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Yudah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Yudah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation, for I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for Hawa dwelleth in Zion. All praise our Creator, all praise our Creator. Now, I told you about the September 23rd thing, and I just, wanted to show you a quick doc right here, man. Then we'll do a dismount. And, yeah, man, check this out. You know what I'm saying? This is for them to fear. But this just lets us know that, it's important for us to assemble. It's important for us to, tribe up and just, remember, live in reality, not the illusion, and start, taking those real steps towards being, having a sovereign existence, a sovereign reality, man. There is no other exception than your true freedom. But look what they're talking about, man, with their apocalypse situation. This whole thing's going to be a bumpy road, they say, this year. But that's what they're saying. And we looking around, we see the crisis in Venezuela. We see these things going down, and it look like it's going down. Well, let's see what this drop is right here. And, dig on it.
God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth." And it was so.
On September 23rd, 2017, the heavenly sign foretold of in Revelation chapter 12 of the New Testament of the Bible will be present in the sky as the stars align for what appears to be the first time in human history.
There'll be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up, and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh.
For thousands upon thousands of years, ancient cultures have been foretelling of a future time in history, and you're in that time now. Not only are you going to see an incredible astronomical alignment in this video, but you will also see the birth of a king, known as Jupiter to the Romans and Zeus to the Greeks.
Pause. Now, you got to drop the Black Zeus. Go get that drop. Black Zeus. Jesus. 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 Now, we're talking about the birth of Jupiter. And you're seeing it as a star. You're seeing this as a isolated globaler situation. You know, get back in that Giannini, man. I think probably next get right back into flat connected universe, man. So, you know, apply it all, but just pay attention. Now, Jupiter the king, remember they worship Zeus. This Jupiter, that's their son. The birth of Jesus. You're going to see Jesus return. You're going to see Jupiter return. You ain't talking about no little blondie Jesus. I ain't talking about no Hebraic version of anything coming out of their new test that they're bringing here to your land that they're finding you on, and wrote a New Testament to give you a new test and a new God and a new covenant and tell you your laws don't matter, and a new Joshua. Now you have this Joshua, the Savior, when you had your Joshua and have your Joshua. Some call him Kitzikotu. We're talking about a staff. We're talking about Meshi. We're talking about Joshua. Now, they gave you Jupiter, right? They gave you Jupiter.
Capricorn, and next to him is Aquarius, with his hands positioned as if he was emptying a pitcher of water. An age of miraculously, around November 20th now. Not only are you going to see an incredible astronomical alignment in this video, but you will also see the birth of a king, known as Jupiter to the Romans and Zeus to the Greeks. Starting around November 20th, 2016, Jupiter enters the womb of Virgo, and due to retrograde motion, stays in the belly for about 9.5 months or 41 weeks, before exiting the womb in September 2017.
So Jupiter will be born out of this constellation. I know they put a white girl on it, but come on, we're talking about, I mean, why she gotta be a white girl? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. So just imagine a melanated woman having birth to this Zeus. Now, it started in November 16th, so Jupiter's already in the womb. People are already seeing it in the sky. And it's going to really pop out September 23rd, 2017. Follow this.
Miraculously, this just happens to be the human gestation period for a baby inside its mother.
Bang.
At this point, I would like to clarify something.
Baby
this
Jesus.
is not a video about the end of the world. There seemed to be a lot of confusion in part 1 of this series where I talked about the biblical blood moon tetrad. Many people were thinking automatically I was talking about the end of the world, or the apocalypse. To me, the apocalypse means a revealing. The word apocalypse is the lifting of the veil. It's not the end of the world. And many people,
or the breaking of the spell. Thoth spell barrier.
People seem to be confused about that. In my opinion, their fear stems from so-called end times, thanks to horror stories from Hollywood and religion, as we find ourselves in the end of the age of Pisces, an age of believing, deception, suppression, and control. I don't think I need to ask you if you have noticed how hard at work the dark occultists have been lately in fear of losing control. As more and more people awaken and tune into the higher frequency, realizing who they are, the dark forces ruling the planet.
Higher frequency, higher, heya, hawa, frequency above the barrier, higher, and know who they are. When you know who you are, it breaks the spell. Listen, he's talking to you, Yudah.
Control. As more and more people awaken and tune into the higher frequency, realizing who they are, the dark forces ruling the planet must keep you in fear while enslaved in their current construct.
But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Many shall be purified and made white and tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
The Aquarian age we are approaching is the age of knowing, truth, harmony, expansion, and incredible potential for the human race.
Reality.
Please do not confuse some New Age movement with just being something new. Due to the precession of the equinoxes and the wobble of the earth, we move backwards through the zodiac about...
Come on, dodge the hijack. You don't need all this precessions and this with gravities, this is this. You get the babies out. You know what I mean? This is what they got to do to explain why Jupiter is making this particular motion. Come on, man. Connected, celestial bodies. Everything connected. Land, water, ice.
1 degree every 72 years, or 30 degrees every 2,160 years. In order to have a better understanding of the ages, we must briefly jump back about 6,000 years to around 4,000 BC. This was the beginning of the age of Taurus and lasted roughly 2,000 years. Egypt worshipped the bull gods of Hathor, Apis, Bacchus, and Menasseh. Mesopotamia had Enkidu, the bull of heaven. China had a bull god of agriculture. In Sumeria, they had the bull god Enlil, and sacred bulls and cows could be found around the globe. In the following age of Aries the ram, the bull was slain by Mithras, the Persian and Indian god, announcing the end of Taurus, and Moses destroyed the golden calf being worshipped by many people. In this age, you saw the Jews blowing the shofar, or the ram's horn. Egypt depicted Amen-Ra as a ram. The Greeks had a horned god, Pan, who turns out to be the only Greek god to die at the end of the age.
Ham.
In the age of Pisces, from around 1 AD to the present time, we have the Lamb of God being slain and the Son of God being portrayed as the great fisherman.
So they're using astrological events, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they're really doing in the metaphysics of it. When they give you these images, they're talking metaphysics. They're talking, Jupiter. They're talking astronomy, you know what I mean? But in their astronomy is where their angels lie. So they're not just saying it for granted. They're saying it because there's energies that they are tuned into. There's frequencies all below the barrier. Rakwa, Rakia, I beat it out. Your creator describes beating out a solid expanse of the sky and stretching it out like a tent to dwell in. All right, so that's a barrier. But everything below the barrier is what they're getting their signs from. And yes, there's signs, but there's signs to do with the people who connect above the barrier. Why would the creator of above the barrier give you signs for those that are not connected above the barrier? But the seed, the heritage, you only have I known.
The symbol for Jesus is a fish. Jesus feeds 5,000 people with 2 fish.
Fish God.
And 5 loaves of bread.
Jesus.
The Pope's mitre is shaped like a fish head. Jesus met 2 fishermen and told them he could...
This is all Babylonian paganism. Hijack.
...make them fishers of men. Even the word nun in the Aramaic means fish. Contrary to what you might have been taught growing up, the word occult does not mean evil. It means hidden, and occult knowledge can be used for good or bad. Part of our awakening involves understanding that man is the measure of the universe, the microcosm of the macrocosm, as above, so below. In the Middle Ages, you find many depictions of the zodiac man. We are almost at the point of the video where I show you the coming great sign in the sky. But I think now would be a great time to discuss one more little-known fact, or at least fact in my humble opinion. Leonardo da Vinci studied the occult and said that the human organism was an analogy for the universe. There exists in the writings of virtually all civilized nations a description of the major stars in the heavens, something we might call the constellations of the zodiac, or the signs of the zodiac, of which there were 12. If you go back in the time of Rome or beyond to Greece, or before that to Egypt, Persia, Assyria, or Babylonia, regardless of how far back you go, there's a remarkable phenomenon. Nearly all nations had the same 12 signs. I would now like to show you what many believe is the true hidden message in the Last Supper. If you look from left to right, you will see groupings.
Now we know we're talking hijack here, and sun god, Jupiter, sun god, but son of who? Son of Saturn, not your son. Huh? Not Thomas. We're talking Saturn. We're talking black hole sun. But let's listen to what they're putting in, how they're deciphering, because they've put their codes and descriptions, and there's a coding to all this stuff. There's an occult, there's a secret code to all of what they've given you. So let's break it down.
So 3 disciples. The first 3 representing spring, the next 3 representing summer, with Jesus depicting the sun, the following 3 disciples representing fall, and the final 3 representing winter. At the head of the table is a man with his hands on the table in the position of a ram, like he is about to ram something. Well, he happens to be Aries, the ram. And next to him is Taurus the bull, who has his arm wrapped around the neck of Gemini, the twins, showing you with his hands, the twin hands. Taurus is also pointing at Cancer's neck, where Cancer is in the human. You see, you can lay the zodiac man down on the table with his head in Aries and his feet in Pisces, where you see Pisces holding his 2 hands out, as if he was holding 2 fish. Now going back to Cancer, you see Gemini with the 2 hands up. Cancer, the crab, is holding a knife, like the claw of a crab, and he's pointing at what would be Virgo's neck. Maybe saying, hey, look here, no Adam's apple. Next to Cancer is Leo.
Because this is a woman. Let's go.
With the arm on the table. The king of the zodiac, the Lion King, Leo the lion. Next you have Virgo. And then in the middle you have Jesus as the sun. Now, you'll see that Jesus is here between Virgo and Libra. Jesus, here between Virgo and Libra, in the end of September, is providing the harvest of the wheat and the grapes or the wine on the table before he's crucified in Libra. You see the next sign next to Jesus being Libra, the scales of balance with the arms out as the scales, before he's crucified and goes down to the dead of winter to his death, where the sun is actually reborn on December 25th, but we won't get into that in this video. Next to Libra is Scorpio. You can see the finger being pointed upward, the stinger of the scorpion. The kiss of death, Judas having kissed Jesus, actually giving him the kiss of death. Scorpion bite looking like 2 lips. I never understood how Judas betrayed Jesus by kissing him. However, I believe that that is actually a kiss of death from the stinger. Now you see Libra as if it was Jesus being crucified, is between...
Now we're going to get back to this Judas. Hopefully I have time in the dismount to show you. But, there's a 1500 Syriac Bible, I guess, that was recently discovered that the Romans didn't destroy, that says that this Jesus was not the son of the Creator, but a prophet who was ascended before any crucifixion, and that Judas was the one that actually got crucified. Judas was crucified, not Jesus. Even in this 1500s Syriac Aramaic, manuscript that was not destroyed by this Roman power that was destroying everything. We'll try to get that in dismount.
Scorpio and Sagittarius, which are known as the heavenly thieves, Jesus was crucified between two thieves. Between October 23rd and December 21st, there's a harvest almost everywhere of the year, somewhere except for these 2 months. And these are known as the heavenly thieves. Making up the winter signs, you have Capricorn, and next to him is Aquarius, with his hands positioned as if he was emptying a pitcher of water. And at the end of the table, you have a man with his 2 upward hands, which would be holding the 2 fish. Now, I understand that a lot of people are just going to think this is all totally bonk, totally ridiculous. However, I also believe that there's going to be some who are in a certain frequency that will be able to look at this and probably do their own research and be able to see something here that they had never seen before. Something that very intriguing, making them think of what's really happening here. Coincidentally, when asked by his disciples where to prepare for the Passover, Jesus said the following.
And he said unto them, Behold, when you are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house where he entereth in. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered.
So here we are, everyone, an incredible sign in the heavens. I'm going to link you below to someone who's done research claiming that this is the only time this happens in 7,000 years.
September.
But there may be other times the alignment is similar, but I don't think there's another time where the alignment is similar and Jupiter had just gone through a 41-week gestation period in the womb of Virgo. So this is totally incredible. This is a sign of the end of an age as we transcend into the age of Aquarius. And we have an awakening happening in the human race.
Awakening.
This is an incredible sign.
Yudah.
God said, let the star...
Notice the crown is this Yudah, Lion of Judah. Lion of Yudah.
And the planets be for signs. So on September 23rd, 2017, Virgo will be in the daytime sky. You have to remove the daylight here in the stellarium program to see the alignment. But she'll be draped in the sun. She'll have the moon at her feet. Jupiter will be coming out of the belly of Virgo, out of the womb. And she'll be crowned with 12 stars. Leo being made up of 9 stars. And in line with Regulus will be Venus, Mars, and Mercury, making up 12 stars. I'm going to leave you here with something else, talking about what is arguably one of the oldest books in the Bible, where God talks to Job about the Mazzaroth, which is the zodiac. I'm going to leave you with that and one other verse from the Bible. Thank you. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please check out my Blood Moon video, which coincides with this.
Zeus, this is who they gave you when they gave you the New Test.
Part 1 of the series and also part 2. I'll link up part 1 and 2 below. The Shemitah.
Oh, Constantine's creation. See, man, you never know what you're going to get. See, this, I love to this author because he's just going to flat out break it all the way down. Corroborate all the drop that we're digging on these manuscripts. This Piso family, all the stuff that they're putting together. Now, Jupiter, Zeus, Jesus, Jupiter, Zeus, Jesus, Zeus, Zeus, he is Zeus. Jesus, S-U-S is swine in Greek, swine, with the creator name his son, swine. Jesus, Jesus, Zeus, swine, Jesus. Hail Zeus is what you're saying. Hail Zeus. Krishna. Krishna. Krishnan. Krishnan. Christ. Krishna. Krishna. Christ. Hail Zeus plus Krishna is Zeus Christ. Jesus Christ. Hail Zeus Krishna. These are your hijacked images they're giving you of their God. This is your God, right? Jesus. Jupiter, Zeus, Krishna, Krishna. They hijacked this Hindu mythos, put it with this Zeus, Jupiter mythos, mixed it, synchronized it with your Torah, which was your law, which was your Los Lunas, which was your quiche. Jesus Krishna, Jesus Krishna, Jesus Krishna, Jesus Christ. How you got here from Constantine's creation. They created this in their councils, people. Put the ultimate hijack on you, gave you a little truth with a whole lot of lies.
We came through it, didn't quite happen the way that it seemed like it was going to happen, but we did have a collapse of sorts.
The birth of Jupiter, the birth of Jupiter, the birth of their sun god. Let's go, man. Let's go. I'm wondering if I can find that Syriac. One of my bros sent to me now. Let's see. Love to all the family, man. Love to all the new subscribers, man. Getting the drop. Everyone leaving the dope comments. I love y'all. Appreciate that, man. Yo, greetings, Brother King Drop. I was wondering if there's still the free month to get our tunes tuned to 432. And if not, how much is it to get them tuned up? I wanted to send a few tracks. Love to you, King. We're doing it a whole nother month. So family, keep sending your free joints. It's another free service along with our library and free PDFs. We're tuning your music, 50 songs for free. Hit me up, music at 432thedrop.com. All right. Man, let's see if this is it. No, that's not it. That's just a flat earth. Pretty funny, though. Man. Let's see. What if I just put it in here? I think it's 1507. Syriac Bible discovered. Let's see if we get. Yeah. Alright, this is some drop. It's not the exact link that I was looking at, so I'm gonna look that up. But let's see. Let me go back into comments. You see my little ones, man, doing their thing. Love to all the fan bands, man, with the little ones, man. I think Justin Coleman sent us this, man. Is this it? Yeah, 1,500-year-old Syriac.
This is Dr. Joanna Wells.
I'm going to do a little belly flop into it. Love to the fam,
so
Justin
that way
Coleman.
they can go ahead and repopulate the earth. Because still they've been able to share this truth with us of where we come from. No one can tell us. They'll say, oh, the Bible, Adam and Eve.